Well, here's my advice for what it's worth. Never buy a car from Ancaster and never buy an MG4. I bought my brand new MG4 from Ancaster Bromley on the 2nd of September last year, and within a matter of days it had developed a serious fault. It powered up with a host of error messages saying cameras, sensors were out of action, and the main infotainment console was a complete blank. And if you can't operate that main console, there's very little you can control about the car. So I contacted Ancaster Bromley, booked the car in for a repair, but a few days later, as I was pulling away from the curbside at home, it performed an autonomous emergency braking action. And even at low speed, that is a truly shocking event, believe you me. So my confidence in the car was shot. And because I'd bought the car only 20 days or so earlier, I was entitled to a full no-quibble refund under the Consumer Rights Act. Ancaster Bromley and Ancaster Customer Services didn't really address the issue of the AEB. Frankly, I don't think they believed I'd experienced one. They weren't going to offer a no-quibble refund. They insisted that they had the right to inspect the car first, which I guess is reasonable. So it went in for repair on the 29th of September, and I get the basic verdict. Oh, it only needed a software upgrade, and they showed the console working again and the faults removed. I was not happy with this because they went into no depth about why I would have had these faults and why there was an AEB. And I've been reading in the meantime about other MG4 owners, having similar problems with their cars, most concerning aberrant lane departure assist incidents and a few AEBs like myself. So I was sticking to my guns. I wanted a full refund under my rights, given the Consumer Rights Act. Ancaster stick to their guns, and it finally culminated in them saying, we could find no fault with the car, and therefore we will not offer a refund. So I've referred the matter to the Motor Ombudsman, and the case is still pending. Meantime, I've been driving the car, and I simply turn off the lane departure assist feature and the front collision assist every time I go on a long or a fast journey, because I simply cannot risk the aberrant behaviour I'd experienced happening on a motorway or on a long journey. But on short, slow journeys, I sometimes leave these features on, and I've experienced 4 aberrant lane departure assist episodes and 1 aberrant AEB. Well, I'm sort of getting used to driving my MG4 on this basis. I don't really know what it means for insurance until yesterday, when the same fault that I experienced on the 19th, recurred. So I'll just show you a short video of that. And then after that, I'm going to show you the email correspondence I've had with Ancaster Bromley and Ancaster Customer Services. And I'll let you judge the quality of support and care I've received from them in this matter. Here I am about to enter my MG4. And let's look at what happens here. Okay, so I'm getting a host of error messages. And this is the second time this has happened to me within 5 months of buying the car. The first time it happened, actually within 10 days of buying the car. And you can see the main console screen is a complete blank and won't reset. So this is the 15th of February. I bought the car early September last year.
And like I say, within 10 days, I had this same problem. I took it back to Ancaster. I wanted a refund because the fault occurred within 30 days of purchase. They wouldn't give me a refund. And they said, after they'd repaired the car from this condition, they said, oh, in fact, there was no default, or there was no defect in the car. It just needed a software upgrade. So I know from experience that this car is very dangerous to drive in this situation, because last time I tried to do it, there was an autonomous emergency brake. Quite aberrant. Luckily for me, it just happened as I pulled away from this curbside. So it simply isn't worth the aggro of this happening to you and having a dealer like Ancaster not honour their obligations under the Consumer Rights Act.
Finally, I just show you the chain of email correspondence. I've simply ranged the email correspondence in chronological order and removed any names identifying Ancaster personnel. And I'm going to scroll through this. I don't know which speed or how much you want to read this, but of course you can press your pause button at any point. So this is me on the 22nd saying I just experienced an AEB and lost all confidence in the car. And I want, even at this stage, to talk about having a full refund. And I assert my rights under the Consumer Rights Act of 2015 that I should be entitled to a no-quibble refund, given I bought the car within 30 days, or this fault had materialised 30 days within purchase. This is correspondence back to me. Out of interest, actually, I was the one who asked whether it was safe to drive. Initially, before the 22nd, I got no advice on this from Ancaster. It was only after I informed this for this AEB that they told me it's probably inadvisable to drive. I just reiterate the points. Again, I'm saying I want to talk about a refund. At this point, customer services intervene, and I set up some email correspondence with them. So they insist on their right to see the car, which I think is fair. So we have the car booked in to go on the 29th. Now, although the car is not safe to drive, you can see I'm having to make all the effort to have the car towed back to them. They made no effort to collect the car for themselves. So the car's now gone in for repair, and on the 30th, by this time I've received the video from Bromley showing me the infotainment console working and all the error messages gone. I reply on the 30th, thanks for that, show me you've fixed the fault. And that you say a full factory reset and software update was performed, and that's all that was required. I make the point, well, presumably, since I've only bought the car a few days before, it should have had the latest version of the software. I point out I would like a more thorough investigation, especially with regard to the AEB event I'd experienced. Anyway, I'll scroll on. I make reference to the This Is Money article I read. I point out that in that article I'd read customers who encountered these problems handed their vehicles back, so presumably other dealers were offering full refunds in similar situations. I'm then bounced around between people from customer services. One goes, another comes. It's now been 2 weeks, and I'm still really without a car I have any confidence in. I'm getting no offers of a courtesy car from Ancaster. And then I'm back to my original customer service person. And this is the kicker. They maintained that they found no fault on the vehicle. It was purely just software updates that were required. And regarding, because there must be a proven fault with the vehicle before discussing anything. Software updates are purely that. So we've got this crazy situation where the software that controls the vehicle and is responsible for its safe driving is not considered part of the car, if you follow this logic. We're at the strange situation where we're at the mercy of the software. If there were a future release which introduced the same problems I've had, or even worse ones, then presumably that's the fault of the software and not the car, would be the logic. So I find this incredible and insupportable. They're clearly not going to refund the vehicle at this, they're not going to make me a refund for the vehicle. And I'm asking if that is a full and final decision, because I need that before we can go through the mediation process with the TMO, the Motor Ombudsman. I point other things, other problems MG4 owners have been having. Make this assertion really, that MG and its dealer network are closing ranks and really obstructing genuine complaints from MG owners in the face of mounting evidence of systemic problems with the MG range and its software. And really, that's where we leave it. So I've got a case pending with the TMO. And of course, I've just had a recurrence of the very same fault that I experienced back in September.